Welcome to the launch of our 2021 LGPro annual conference. I'm Leanna Thompson. I'm the CEO at the Northern Grampian Shire Council and I am the LGPro President. It's my great pleasure to be with you today on behalf of the LGPro board and to launch our very first virtual annual conference to be held over 3 days on the 23rd to the 25th of February in 2021. As you know, LGPro is the peak body for local government professionals in Victoria. We provide a range of services focused on professional development and representation. The LGPro annual conference is a major event in the local government calendar. After a global pandemic changed the world forever, next year's conference theme is about evolution, no going back. It's about embracing a refreshed future, and it's about moving on. We think it's time to look forward and to ask, where do we go from here? So we're bringing together top leaders and forward thinkers from beyond the sector to lead the discussion. The aim of the conference is to encourage our members to look at what they do from different perspectives, to step back from the day-to-day and to hear from presenters whose work is relevant but also different, and hear about new ideas, fresh thinking and new practice. The other aim of the conference is to provide a space where people from a diversity of backgrounds, locations and levels can come together and share knowledge and stimulate new thinking. Today, I'm very pleased to announce our conference format and to introduce you to some of the presenters that we've lined up. Being a virtual event, not only will this ensure greater access for delegates across Victoria, but it's allowed us some great access to presenters from across the world. I'd like to introduce you to some of these fascinating speakers.
Hi, my name is Bernard Salt and I am very pleased to say that I am speaking at the LGPro conference on Tuesday the 23rd of February next year. And the theme for the conference is evolution. We're not going back, and I couldn't agree more. There are many people who think that the coming of the coronavirus is a bit of a blip and we just need to batten down the hatches and once the storm has passed, we re-emerge and get on with business as usual. I think we will re-emerge. We will come out of down below decks, but we will find that the Australian ship, the ship of local government, the ship of every government, every business, will actually be pointing in a different direction. We need to be thinking right now about the big strategic directional issues for 2021 and beyond. We need to be thinking not just how do we survive this and how do we recover from this. I think we should be thinking about how can we build or rebuild a better Australia? How can we conceive of and contribute to and be part of reconstructing a better local government community, creating a better Australia at the grassroots level? Join me in this, I think, quite significant event. I want to create a better Australia, and I know you do too. Be part of it.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jen Fram and I'm the co-founder of the Agile Change Leadership Institute, and I also consult to organisations on how to design and deliver positive change. I am really thrilled to be speaking with you next year at the LGPro conference. The theme, evolution, there's no going back, is really close to my heart. One of the things that I found with leaders that I've worked with this year is that there's been real opportunity to do what I call the R's of change, to reinvent, to reintegrate, to renew, to reimagine. Some of us want to revolt because we just don't want to go back, and that's pretty understandable. The one thing that's been in common with all the leaders that I've worked with is that this year has been a year of survival, and they don't want to continue. So next year, I'm going to be working with you to give you 5 qualities that will help you thrive through change more than survive through change. Can't wait to see you.
Hello, my name is Sohail Inaitullah. I'm a professor of political science and future studies and the inaugural UNESCO chair in future studies. Whether it's globalization, climate change, or COVID-19, What's very clear is that the global has entered the local. Local government cannot focus just on roads, rates, rubbish. It's called on to do much more. This could be in the area of safety and security, in the area of the Internet of Things, clean, green, smart, anticipatory cities, or other issues, as we're seeing, for example, in New Zealand, the shift from GDP to well-being. Local government, as we're seeing as change accelerates, needs to be anticipatory. But it's not just thinking about the future, it's making sure that the visions of the future link to today. We always need to answer and ask the Monday morning question. As the world dramatically changes, what do we do next? Thank you very much. See you at the conference.
So, hey everybody, my name's Mark Schenk and I'm the Managing Director at Anecdote International. I'm really looking forward to joining you in February for the LGPro conference. And I'll be talking on the topic of communicating with impact. Now, the conference topic is evolution, no going back. And I'm hoping that what I share with you will change the way you think about your communication, change the choices that you make about how you communicate so that there will be no going back. I'd like to give you an example. Now, Patrick Lencioni spoke at a conference in Melbourne last year. Now, some of you will be familiar with Lencioni. He's written 10 books, including one called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. So he spoke for 3 hours and he was stunning. At lunchtime, I went out and circulated, mingled. People were raving about Lencioni, how engaging he was, how intelligent, how authentic, how impactful. And so I asked people, what was it that he did that made him all of those things? And most people couldn't answer, but one lady did. He used story, she said, and she was 100% right. Every time Lencioni wanted to talk about a topic, he would introduce it, he would give a cool example, then he would use facts and data and his theoretical work and land his point. He used that pattern for 3 hours. I don't think he used the word story once, but the tool he used was story, and most people weren't even aware. Anyway, I'll unpack the things that Lencioni did so that you can use this really cool tool called story, whether it's in presentations, in meetings, or one-on-one, and as I say, change the way that you think about communication. I really look forward to seeing you in February at the LGPro conference. See you then.
I'm Peter Mayers from Cranlana Centre for Ethical Leadership, a partner organisation with Monash University. Cranlana works with leaders across all sectors of Australian society to sharpen their ethical decision-making skills, and we're pleased to be involved in the LGPro annual conference. Local government executives need to meet an ever higher standard of ethical behaviour, in line with the growing expectations of legislators, regulators, and citizens. But the challenges confronting local government leaders keep evolving too. There's no going back. The only choice is to move forward with greater integrity. I'll be exploring the ethics of leadership in local government at a special roundtable at the LGPro conference. I look forward to seeing you there.
In 2020, a global pandemic struck the world and will no doubt be considered an extraordinary time in history. A group of local government emerging leaders interviewed staff and residents across many LGAs to gain perspective and insight into how coronavirus has impacted Victorian councils and their communities.
I'm Kate Depler, one of 24 participants of this year's Emerging Leaders program, and together we invite you to join us to reflect on the impacts of COVID-19 on Victorian councils and their communities. This insightful session will offer experiences of leadership, resilience, and community that will inspire new beginnings. Hope to see you there.
Hello from Surprise, Arizona.
I'm Kendra Pettis, the Director of Sports and Tourism for the City of Surprise.
And I'm Joe Bertoletti, the Senior Associate Director of the Sports and Tourism for the City of Surprise.
And I'm Janine Yurkovich, the Surprise Economic Development Director, and I have the honor of moderating a presentation and discussion at the LGPro annual conference this year with Kendra and Joe. They will join me to discuss an important topic facing nearly every community today, the evolution of sports, tourism, and recreation events and initiatives.
Surprise, Arizona is most known as the spring training Major League Baseball home of the Kansas City Royals and Texas Rangers, but our tourism and event season extends beyond the springtime. In Surprise and throughout the state of Arizona, it's year-round.
We're excited to share a discussion on our own recovery lessons and tell you about our own evolution and how we're moving forward and not going back.
Thank you to LGPro for the opportunity, and we hope to offer a pleasant surprise.
Well, thanks very much, everyone. That sure is a lot to look forward to. This conference will be presented in a variety of formats, including presentations with opportunities for Q&A and panel conversation. There'll also be 12 interactive workshops, 2 round table discussions, the 2020 Emerging Leaders presentation, and short talk presentations, so it will never be dull. Being a virtual format, for the first time this conference will allow delegates to access the complete program. This means you can review and watch back at your leisure with over 20 hours of content more at no extra cost. That certainly is bang for your buck. So how do you register? Registrations are now open online at the LGPro website. Go to www.lgpro.com. The cost is an affordable $350 for members, $495 for non-members. If you're not a member of LGPro, I encourage you to consider joining, not just to access the member rate for this conference, but to support the continued work of LGPro in providing leadership, advocacy, and professional development for the sector. And I'd like to acknowledge and thank the Annual Conference Planning Committee for working with us to ensure that this conference is relevant and meeting the needs of the sector. Your work is greatly appreciated and vital, so thank you. I look forward to seeing you at the conference.